Good morning, my lovelies, my friends. What's up? Let me get myself set up over here, and we're going to have a morning live stream. A morning live stream. A morning live stream. A morning live stream. Good morning. Good morning from me and Rocky Balboa. Pludre. I love you, Rocky Balboa. Okay. So, you guys sit down with Mommy so we can do the live stream? Okay. Good morning, everybody. As you can see, I got my co-host here. I have two co-hosts, actually. Let me introduce you guys to both of my co-hosts. Co-host number one and the baddest motherfucker of them all would be Paquito. His name is Paquito Way Paco. We call him Paco. That's Paco Julio Rodriguez Juarez DeMeo Pludre. And then the baddest of them all, Rocky Balboa Pludre. Hello, beautiful baby boy. Are you my most beautiful boy? Are you the most beautiful boy in the world? Say, I'm about to take flight. As you can see, he's still growing into his ears. Please do not shame him. He is self-conscious about his ears. He knows that they're big. He has eyes to see. He can't help it. Say, the better to hear you with, my dears. The better to hear you with, my dears. Huh, Rocky? The better to hear you with, my dears. So I wanted to jump on and I wanted to talk about the importance of being honest when you're sharing with your subscribers and followers about different pathways to recovery. So I saw a video on TikTok this morning when I woke up about Kratom, and it got me to thinking about how the Kratom community used to drag me to filth back in 2020, because I would tell the truth. I would tell people that if you take this medication every day, you could become dependent to it. It can cause addiction. It could cause dependency. Same as methadone causes a dependency. Same as Suboxone causes a dependency. It's really important when you're helping people find a way to navigate through recovery to be honest with them. I will never lie to you guys. If you utilize the way I got sober, which was through medication-assisted treatment, Suboxone, if you utilize Suboxone, your body will become dependent to Suboxone, and you will need to taper off to get off of it eventually if you want to get off of it. I've been on Suboxone for 8.5 years. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for the hearts, Nicole. And a lot of people ask me, Nicole, are you ever going to get off Suboxone? Bitch, I don't know. I'm not stressing about it. That's not one of the main focuses of my life. What I'm focused on right now is getting healthy, losing weight, being a great mother, and taking care of my brand new baby puppy, Rocky. Because he takes 24-hour supervision, as you can see. He is like, it's like having a toddler in the house again. Huh, my babies. Oh, you gonna sit? Oh, that's the sweetest boy. That is the sweetest boy. Absolutely, T. It absolutely can be. That's why it's really important to make sure that you have other things in your life besides TikTok that you're doing. Like for me, I have a full-time job. And so that helps me a lot. I stay busy. I had a girl reach out to me last night or yesterday, and she was like, you guys, she said, I'm trying to get off Kratom. I need help. And my doctor said he would prescribe me Suboxone. And so she was asking me about Suboxone. And one of the first things I told her out of my mouth was, if you choose to get on Suboxone, you will become dependent to it. It's not something that you can just get on and then get off of. I tell all of the people that reach out to me about medication-assisted treatment that fact, because I don't want anybody to go and say, Nicole didn't tell me that I would become dependent to this medication. Although it is our duty to do our research, our due diligence. And I made a video the other day about things that I wished my Suboxone doctor had told me. And some of you guys commented and said, well, it's your responsibility to do your research. No shit, Sherlock. No shit. I was just saying like what I wish he would have went further into detail about to get me prepared, on a better thing. Somebody else commented and they said, thank you, Carla. A bitch is getting skinny. I know I'm not skinny yet, but I'm losing weight. And I downloaded the Me 360 app, you guys. And I can literally see from the first day, which was December 28th to January 20th, it scans your whole body, and I can see where my waist has gone. I'll show you all the picture. I'll post it after this live because I want to show you guys my measurements and how many inches I've gone down and everything. But anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Suboxone. So I wish I had been better prepared with more facts about Suboxone, which, don't get me wrong, after I got on Suboxone, I went out and I did research and I taught myself everything there is to know about this medication. So that way I could help other people learn about it whenever I decided to start sharing my story, That's where you're wrong, David Applegate. So let's use David's comment, you guys. David says, anything being put into the body not natural is still active addiction. Well, David, I guess we're all in active addiction then if we're eating sugar, if we're drinking caffeine, if we're smoking cigarettes, we're all in active addiction then, huh? Actually, addiction is characterized by behaviors. Okay, so you can be on a narcotic and be in recovery. Okay, you can take medication for your mental health and be in recovery. That's not a natural medication. It's all about the behaviors surrounding that substance and how you act when you're on that substance. So, for example, a lot of people will say to me, Nicole, you're in active addiction because you're on Suboxone. Okay, I take Suboxone every single morning, a half of 1 milligram. I put my little half of a milligram under my tongue. I let it melt. It takes literally 1 minute because that's how tiny the sliver is. So I let it sit in there for at least 7 minutes because I want to make sure that it's going into my bloodstream. And then I go about my day. I get online. I post for my clients because I'm a social media account manager. I manage like a bunch of people's accounts. And then I come on here, I check my social media, I message back any people who are reaching out for help. I check my emails, I reach out to people who are messaging me for help. I text people who have texted my phone overnight when I'm sleeping. Okay? And so, addiction is characterized by behaviors. It's a lot different than just, oh, you're taking something that's a narcotic, so you must be in active addiction still. It's not that simple, I wish it was that simple, but it's not, and I'm grateful that there are medications out there that we can take that can help save our lives. So if you don't feel comfortable taking a medication that helps save your life, that's on you. But don't put that shit on to me, honey, because I'm living my best sober as a judge life over here. So I'm dealing with depression real bad and want to self-medicate. I started drinking again. Hey, Vicious Rabbit, that's totally understandable, and we've all been there. So here's the deal, okay? I love letting people share their opinions, but I do not let people say stuff out of the side of their neck when they don't know me. So Pooh and David Applegate are going to go bye-bye. See ya. Bye. I'm in control here. So, hey guys, I find myself, in recovery. I was telling you guys the other day, in recovery, I started hurting myself with food, and so I used food just like I was using drugs and alcohol. And so it's really easy to get into an unhealthy regimen of living life, right? And like I said, I have no problem with people having a difference of opinion. But when you're going to come on my account and say things like trading one addiction for the other, no, that's not accurate, okay? When I was shooting methamphetamine and shooting fentanyl and shooting heroin and shooting oxys into my veins, in my breasts, in my neck, in my arms, in my legs, in my feet, that's a lot different, okay, than me taking my prescribed medication every morning and not sucking dicks for drugs. Okay? Okay, yeah. I'm not trading the punani for a hit of crack anymore. Okay? Okay, yeah. I'm not stealing. I'm not lying. I'm not cheating. I'm not hurting my family members anymore. My parents don't have to worry about whether or not I'm going to live or die every day. Okay? They don't have to think about, is Nicole going to overdose today? No, they don't have to worry about that at all. At all. Because I am on a medication that is prescribed to me and it's safe and I'm being monitored by a doctor. I used to think the same way. Let me just preface this, you guys. I used to think the same way. I used to think that being on medication was a horrible thing. You want to know why you think that? Listen to me. Every single one of you, listen to me right fucking now. Have you ever been to a treatment center where they taught you any other way of recovery except for abstinence and 12-step? Have you ever been to a treatment center that taught you anything different from 12 steps and abstinence? And if you have, you are so blessed, because there's not very many treatment centers that teach anything different from that. Especially down here in the Bible Belt, honey, in the South, where they tell you you can pray the gay away and pray your addiction away. Thank you, honey. Okay? That's what they teach you here. They teach you that you can pray and that God will help relieve that addiction from you. Okay? All you've been taught is that 12 steps and abstinence was the only way. So of course you're going to come in here and you're going to spew what they brainwashed you to believe. But I really want you to think about this. Why do treatment centers teach 12 steps? And why did the 12 steps recommend people to treatment centers? Is it because Big Bill Wilson was scratching the back of these treatment centers and they were helping each other? Do you know how many AA and books they give away in treatment? Do you know how many treatment centers recommend people to go to AA and NA and vice versa? It's because they want you to keep... Exactly. Open your mindset. Open your mindset. It's all a big circle jerk, okay? And listen to me. I used to be one of those people, you guys, who believed that abstinence and AA was the only way, until I did it for so many years without success that I finally had to try something different. I was in and out of treatment for 10 years, in and out of residential treatment centers, being taught the same thing. Get a sponsor, read your big book, pray and meditate, do your 4th step, go to meetings, okay? Call your sponsor. I was taught the same thing, and I kept going in and out, in and out. I was a forever customer of the treatment industry, okay? And so, of course, they want you to believe those things, because when you believe those things, you keep coming back to where they're at. When you break out of that mold and you try something different, like getting on Suboxone. Hey, Nate, what's up, babe? Like getting on Suboxone or utilizing methadone or going and doing ibogaine or ayahuasca and having a spiritual experience with psilocybin, or you go to the NAD plus detox with Justin and them. There's all these different amazing different treatment options now. And you walk out of that fucking 12-step abstinence-based recovery rehab circle jerk and you find a different way to recover. That goes against everything that they're teaching you, because they're teaching you the only way, you know? And so imagine being taught that for so many years, right? And then my child gets taken away from me and I'm at my wit's end. Okay. My son got taken away from me. I went into detox. They gave me 5 days to detox off of a 13-year benzo addiction, a 17-year meth addiction, and a 17-year or 13-year opioid addiction. 5 days to detox off of all of these drugs. When I came out of fucking detox, I was sick as fuck. Okay? I was so sick. And then I went right into residential treatment. And do you think that any of the treatment was tailored specifically to my needs because I was literally coming off of these high-powered drugs? No. It was all the same bullshit. And it was horrible. I relapsed on Xanax inside of the treatment center because I was so sick coming off of benzos. I got Xanax snuck into me, you know? And so when I got out of treatment, I had 30 days sober off of all drugs, you guys, off of all substances. I had 30 days sober. I came out of treatment and I was so fucking sick. I felt like I wanted to die. My skin was burning. My nervous system was shot. I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep for the last 2 weeks I was in treatment. I was hallucinating that I was seeing and hearing people that weren't there because I hadn't slept, not because I was high on meth. Because I hadn't slept. Because there was no way for me to come off of these high-powered medications in a 5-day period of time. Okay? In a 5-day period of time. And now treatment centers are learning that. Now they know that they can't just get you off of benzos in 5 days. That's why so many people can't find treatment centers to go to. Because no place will take you if you're on these meds anymore. Because you need more time to detox off of them safely. You know? And so when I came out of treatment, I was fucking miserable, dude. And I wanted to go get high. All I could think about was wanting to get high every single day. And my husband was like, hey, I got on Suboxone. And because I had been taught for so many years that being on medication was not sober, I was like, you're not sober. How could you do this to our family? And that's when my husband told me, he was like, the CPS caseworker told me to get on Suboxone. And when he told me that, that made me realize, holy shit, maybe it'll help me. And that's when I got on Suboxone. It was the best decision I ever fucking made, okay? Ever fucking made, you guys. I caught hepatitis C because I couldn't wait to get a new syringe, okay? Because I wanted to use right away, and my friend had a needle, and I knew he had hepatitis C, and I took it and I used it anyway because I couldn't wait for him to go find a new syringe or him to go buy one, okay? Because when I went to the pharmacy, they wouldn't sell me one, all right? Like I hate to use these words, but it's the truth. I was a junkie, okay? I was strung the fuck out. Who are you talking to, T? Are you talking to me? I hope you're not talking to me because it's my live stream, honey. I ain't got to calm down. I was strung out, you guys. Strung out. Getting on MAT was the best decision of my life. Best decision. Okay. And what it did for me, thank you. I appreciate that. Just making sure because I'm like, why do you want me to calm down? I'm having a great conversation. I get excited about things. If you're talking to somebody else, who needs to calm down? Y'all calm down. T said so. We're not going to be mean to T, though. Don't pick on T, okay? She might have been talking to somebody else in the chat, okay? We love you, T. Okay, so this is my personality. I'm very high energy, high strung kind of person. So thanks for saying that. Ash, thank you for saying that. So, I'm just trying to drive home the point, you guys, of like how bad it was for me in active addiction and how many years I spent trying to get sober through abstinence. Like, I really want you guys to understand, it's not like I had just started using drugs and the first thing I tried was Suboxone. I had tried everything. Okay? I had tried everything. I had tried, at one point in my addiction, I went to prison, okay? In 2008, I got caught with some meth. I was riding in the passenger seat of my own vehicle. I had a little navy blue Ford Focus. I called her Bessie. And this guy, Quincy, pacemaker Quincy, he was a black guy with a pacemaker and he shot dope. That's why I thought that was so ironic that he shot up meth. That's how strong the disease of addiction is. I'm 42. No, I'll be 42 in March. I'm 41. That's how strong the disease of addiction is, you guys. It's so strong that my friend Quincy had a pacemaker in his fucking heart and he was still banging meth. Okay? I knew the disease of addiction is so powerful that I knew somebody had hepatitis C and I still used a syringe after them. Do you know what I'm saying? And so it was such a, like, when I used drugs, it was do or die, baby. Like, I had to have it, And so I want people to understand, like, I didn't just go out and get on Suboxone the first time I tried to get sober. I really did give it a good college try, a good 10 years of trying to get sober through abstinence. And it just wasn't working for me. I also struggle with mental illness. And so I think that had a big part in the reason why I struggled so hard to get sober through abstinence, because my mental health was not being treated or addressed as well. And so I think that also had a big, big part in it. A lot of these treatment centers are not equipped to help you with your mental health. A lot of these treatment centers have one therapist or psychiatrist to cover 35 people that are in the treatment center. And so they weren't equipped. They weren't equipped to give me the help that I truly fucking needed, which was long-term, drawn-out treatment. I needed a year of therapy, and that's what I did. I got out of treatment. I got on medication. I got on medication for my mental health as well as my addiction, and I started going to therapy. I started out going to therapy once a week. Did that for 3 months. Then I went to every other week. Did that for 4 months. Then I went to once a month. And I slowly, titrated down on how frequently I was going to therapy. But I'm telling you, the best decision I ever made for myself was getting on medication that quieted my mind. Okay? And some people need medication that helps quiet their mind. I'm one of those people. Just recently, I found out that I was diabetic because just like with everything in my life, right? I'm actually talking about Suboxone, SJ. So, can I DM you? Not right now, but later on. I'd love to talk. Yeah, you can DM me. You guys anybody can DM me. Y'all can message me anytime. I answer all my messages and I have them set to answer. Anybody can message me. So, I was talking about Suboxone and MAT treatment, heroin addiction, fentanyl addiction, that kind of stuff. So anyways, I just want people to understand, like, I really struggled, okay, for over 10 years. And Suboxone helped save my life, but I will never come on here and lie to you and tell you guys that it's not habit forming. Like, Suboxone is a partial opioid agonist, okay? That's why it works so well in your brain, okay? Because once it gets into your system and you've been on it for about 6 to 7 days, it balances out. It takes away the cravings and it gives your mu opioid receptors that opioid that they're craving, and it feeds that receptor, and it helps so okay, with the cravings and the thought of using. I think about it all the time. Like, I wonder if I got off Suboxone, would the cravings come back full force? And I've really, really been praying about this a lot and really been thinking about it, right? So much has changed in my life. Thank you for the rose, baby. I appreciate that. So much has changed in my life since I've gotten sober, okay? And let me explain to you. When I was in active addiction, I lived my life for the substances. When I woke up, the first thing on my mind was me needing to do a shot, okay? And the last thing on my mind before I would go to bed, which I wouldn't go to bed because I wouldn't sleep, was how I needed to do a shot. And that was what my whole life consisted of, was doing shots and finding dope to put in my syringe. You know, it became such a oh God, I'm gonna get emotional. I remember, and I'm pretty, like, I have a pretty strong will, you know. I remember I wanted to end my life because my life had become so chaotic and so full of misery because there wasn't enough dope in the world for me to do, honey. I couldn't get enough dope. Okay? When I would do methamphetamine, I could not get enough. I would shoot the whole bag and then I would want more, you know? And there wasn't enough meth and there wasn't enough oxy and there wasn't enough Xanax in the world to quiet my mind and the hatred that I had for myself, because I knew deep down in my heart that I was hurting myself and hurting my family. I knew that I was hurting my family. I knew that I was hurting my son. A lot of people ask me, how did you do drugs when you were pregnant? With a lot of shame and guilt, hating my life, hating myself, wanting to die, wishing that I wasn't alive. And I didn't wake up and think, oh, I get to shoot meth today while I'm pregnant. No, I was fucking miserable. And I hate myself for it. I think about it every single day, how the choices that I made were so horrible. How could I do that to my baby? How could I do that to my unborn child? I look at my son every day and I know that God was protecting my son. There's no other explanation to it. God was inside of my belly, wrapped himself around my unborn baby, and protected my son from me, from his mom. When I think about it, I think about how my child had to be protected from me, the person who was supposed to be protecting him from everything in the world. So when I talk about addiction, like, I understand it to the very tippy top. Like, think about the most severe addiction problem you can have, and then that was me. You know what I mean? So, like, whatever you've been through, I will never judge anybody, right? I will never judge anybody because I have done some horrible, horrible, horrible things in my active addiction. Things that I wish I could go back and change. I think about this all the time. If I could go back and change one thing in my life, what would it have been? I would have got sober when I found out I was pregnant. I would have went to my doctor and I would have told my doctor, I need help. I'm addicted. And I would have went into long-term treatment. I wish that there was a place where I could have went and stayed for months. And I know, but think about it is these places suck, right? And so, like, when you really think about it, do you want to go into a 6-month-long treatment program while you're pregnant? No, and so, and it would, I would have went to my doctor though, and I would have gotten help. When I was pregnant, I was able to stop using opioids. And which was a miracle. I would like dabble with them occasionally, but my main problem with substances when I was pregnant was stimulants, was methamphetamine. And the reason why I quit opioids and benzos while I was pregnant was because I read so many things about your child becoming dependent on opioids in the womb and then coming out and being sick, And so this is so ass backwards, but the way I was able to quit opioids and Xanax was because I was using methamphetamine. I just filled meth in where I would normally use opioids and Xanax, and that was the worst thing I could have done. But I was able to stop at least some of the drugs that I was doing, and that's how I looked at it. Like, I looked at it as, at least I'm trying, right? I wish I had went to my doctor and told them that I was struggling with stimulants, and I wish I would have gotten into a treatment center that could have helped me get off of all the drugs. So that way, when I gave birth to my son, I would have been sober. But I wasn't. I gave birth to my son high as hell. And people ask me this all the time. They say, how did you give birth to your son and not get him taken from you that day? You guys, your guess is as good as mine. Okay? My little boy was born on the 4th of July. And if y'all don't know anything about Arkansas, the 4th of July is a big holiday. We have lakes here. We do the lake. There's fireworks on the lake, on the river. Everybody's out. Everybody's in the sun. And so when I gave birth to my son, it was 1 o'clock in the morning on July 4th, because I went in on July 3rd. And I went in July 3rd morning at 8 a.m. and they checked my cervix, and I was only 1 centimeter dilated. And I left. I fucking ran the fuck up out of there. I said, hell no, I ain't staying here. Oh, I'm sorry, Ashley. R.I.P. to your grandpa. I'm so sorry. I went in and I was like, I'm not staying in here. Like, if I stay in here, then they're really going to know I'm high. So I went home, and from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, I labored at home in my home, in the old house I used to live in. When I tell you my baby he was doing the damn thing. He was moving down. He was making his way down. I was in so much pain. I did it all at my house on my own. It felt like somebody was stabbing me in the back with an ice pick in my lower back. But I handled it, and I went back to the hospital at 8 o'clock that night, and I gave birth to my son high on meth. And oh God, I hate myself for that. I hate myself. I don't have any pictures. The only pictures I have, I've been sober for 8.5 years. The only pictures I have are the couple of pictures that my mother and father-in-law took and my mom took. Like, I wish I could go back, because I would want to do a pregnancy photo shoot, and I would want to do the different little photo shoots each time he hit a milestone. But I didn't do any of that because I was high on meth. I don't have any of those memories, And so when I look back, I wish that's the things I wish I could change. I wish I could change the fact that I was high when I was pregnant. I wish I could go back and get sober the day I found out I was pregnant. And that's why when you guys reach out to me that are pregnant, because so many women reach out to me that are pregnant and addicted. And my first thing is to them, let's get help. Let's find you somewhere to get help, because I promise you, you do not want to live with the internal regret. It's internal. It is infinity regret. Like, I'll never live it down. I'll never forget it. I'll never forgive myself. Ever. I'll never forgive myself. I hate that I did that to my child, and I will never get those memories back. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Cindy, I wanted to say something if you're still in here. So I saw somebody comment something, and they said
they were talking shit about me on one of your posts, I think on Facebook. And I just want you to know, and I know Wendy knows this too. I love you and Wendy, and I the only reason I react to y'all's videos is because I can relate being somebody that struggled with meth addiction, you know? And I want what is best for Stephanie, and I want her to be successful, and I want her to get better, and I pray for her I think about her and I pray for her all the time. But I just wanted to kind of let you know that. I know that Wendy knows, but I don't really text with you like I have text with Wendy in the past. I 100% support you guys. I support y'all because I see a mother who is tired, a mother who is broken, a mother who is hurting and only wants her daughter to get better. And I know a lot of people give you shit for the way you guys respond to her, but I understand it. And I just want you to know that I have so much respect for you guys sharing y'all's story and experience with Stephanie online. Because more people need to know. It's okay. I just wanted to let you know because I knew that we were good, but I just want to let you know more people need to understand and see what it's like to be on the other side of somebody's addiction, to be living 20 years watching your daughter kill herself with drugs. You know, if we need to be more loving and understanding to our mothers and fathers who struggle, who have children who struggle with addiction, because we're dragging I drug my mom and dad through the motherfucking mud. Okay. And now that I'm sober, and I've been sober for some years, now I am working so hard to heal and repair the relationship that I hurt my family, you know, and me and my mom and dad, we're great. Our relationship is wonderful now. But it took many, many years for my mom and dad to forgive me and to trust me again. Because for so many years, I stole from them. I stole their credit cards. I stole money out of my mom's wallet. I brought drugs into their home. I left drugs in their home whenever they were taking care of my little nephew, you know. And so my mom and dad, I put them through so fucking much. And so I think what y'all are doing by sharing your journey on social media is so admirable, and I love y'all. My sister adopted my first baby. Had that not happened, I wouldn't be the good mom I am to my second. Yeah. And I was also thinking about, you know, when Nathaniel got taken away from me, it makes me so mad. Where I get mad with CPS, you guys, I love you too. Tell Wendy I love her too, okay? And tell Stephanie when you talk to her again that I'm thinking about her. And I know she's, you know, in the place, but if she ever wants somebody she can talk to who can understand and relate to what she's going through, if she can, I would love to talk to her if she wanted to. But I was thinking about, sorry, my hair, I got these little caramel highlights in my hair, and I'm still trying to figure out if I like it or not. I might dye over these bitches, you guys, because they're just looking a little too brassy to me. I think I might go get some purple shampoo and try to get these a little bit more toned out, because I just am not happy with it. What do y'all think? Tell me what you think. But anyways, when my little boy got taken away from me by CPS, it was because a girl that I shot dope with called CPS on me because she was mad. Okay, so those of you guys that don't know, purple shampoo, okay, for those of you, because I don't want to dye over it with like a different color, but I want it to be a little bit less brassy. Like, I know it can't be white because I have black hair, but I just feel like it's a little too brassy right now. But anyway, my son got taken away from me not because I was like doing the most, okay? Like, at the time when my son got taken away from me, my mother and father-in-law, we all lived in the same house together. And so after I gave birth to my son, I got sober, and I stayed sober for 90 days. Then I relapsed back onto meth. During that time that I was in my relapse, my mother and father-in-law lived with me. So they took care of my son when I wasn't able to take care of him, which really wasn't very often because I wasn't, I knew I had a baby at the house. So I wasn't shooting dope to the point of like going into hallucinations at the house. You know, there was times where I would leave the house though for a couple of days and not come home and leave my son with his Gigi and Papa. Well, after that happened, my friend and I was at her house and we were doing meth together. Okay. Well, she owed me $30 and I'll never forget it. I asked her, I said, hey, will you pay me back? I'm drinking coffee, which is something I don't normally do, but I just felt like drinking some today. Hey, will you pay me back that $30 you owe me? And she was like, no. And so when she told me no, I was like, okay, I'm just going to get it from your old man. So I called her old man, who was a fucking cop, okay? I called her old man and I was like, hey, dude, I really need this $30. Tara don't want to pay me back. Will you pay it back to me? And she was like, sure. He said, sure. So he gave it back to me. Well, she got pissed. And that's when she said, bitch, I'm calling CPS on you. So there was, I think a lot of people, they comment on my videos and they'll say things like, oh my gosh, thank goodness for your friend. No, not thank goodness for my friend. My friend didn't do it because she had my best interest at heart, y'all. She did it because she was being a spiteful, vindictive bitch. Okay, she was doing it because she was trying to ruin my fucking life and she succeeded. Now, what she did out of spite ended up saving my life. You know what I mean? But she didn't do it because she gave a fuck. Because she was shooting dope right there with me. She did it because she was angry. And for 6.5 years, she lied like a dog to my face. For 6.5 years, she told me she wasn't the person who called CPS on me. I knew she was because when CPS came to my house, they told me what the person said. They said, this person called and they said, ba, 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 ba. And guess what? It just so happened that what she said on the phone to CPS was what she had said to me that she was going to say. So it was like, you know, I already knew. For 6.5 years, she lied to me. She told me she didn't call CPS on me. Then I hit 6.5 years sober and I made a celebration video, okay, on social media. And she saw the celebration video. That's when she messaged me. She saw my celebration video on Facebook. And she messaged me on Facebook and I sent her my cell phone number and she texted me and she said, I just want to tell you I'm sorry. I was the person that called CPS on you. I was like, bitch, I already know. I already know, bitch. You know, I've been knowing that. I've been knowing that for 6.5 years now. And you've just been lying the whole time to be lying. Right? I was like, you fucking really fucked up my shit. You ruined my life. You hurt my family. And for what? Because you was mad at me for collecting a debt you owed me? Okay. So, you know, I'm grateful that I was able to get sober. Because there's a lot of people that don't get sober when their kids get taken away. Okay? And I could have been one of those people. Okay? I'm very fortunate that my shit worked out the way it did. Because I've seen many people who got their kids taken away and they get adopted out. And so, no, bitch, I'm not going to give you no fucking credit. Okay? Because you did that shit to harm me. You know? You did that shit out of fucking hate. Because you was being a bitch that day. You don't play around like that. Okay? Like, I've never called CPS on somebody. Ever. And I never will. I never fucking will. Because it's wrong. Unless a kid is getting beat to death or starved or something, you don't. Who the fuck are you to be calling people? And people do it all the time here on social media. They see a 60-second video of somebody's and they call CPS on them. I don't support that shit. That's wrong. You shouldn't do that. You know? And so, anyway, I was blessed that I had the wherewithal to change my life, because a lot of people don't change their lives, you guys, when they get their kids taken away. I do not like CPS. I do not support what they do. I will never support what they do, you know? I see too many kids get taken from their families and abused and put in foster homes that are only there because they are getting a check, you know? And so the way that I knew that CPS didn't give a fuck about me or my family was when I petitioned the courts to have my son placed with his Gigi and Papa, and they denied them because they said they were too old. That's a lie from the pit of fucking hell. They were 60 years old and more active than I was. So that's how I know CPS didn't give a fuck about my kid, because my son was less than 1 year old. He didn't need to be uprooted and put in a stranger's home. He needed to go to his Gigi and Papa, the family that he knew, where he wouldn't have to go through trauma. But CPS said my family members were too old. That's some bullshit, okay? That's some fucking bullshit I've ever heard it. And that's how I know CPS don't give a fuck. Because if they did, they would have done what was in the best interest of my son, which would have been placing him with his grandma and grandpa while I went to treatment and got the help that I needed. And I know y'all are about to say, well, didn't you live with your mother and father-in-law? My mother and father-in-law, when CPS had gotten called on me, had just bought a brand new home. So they had just moved out into their own home. And so no, they didn't live with me. I wouldn't have been near my baby. And my mother-in-law is a stickler. If they told my mother-in-law I wasn't allowed to be around the baby, then my mother-in-law wouldn't have let me be around the baby. You know? And so that's how I know CPS don't give two fucks. Okay? Because my poor little baby was less than 1 year old. Okay? And they uprooted him and put him in a stranger's home that he didn't know. Imagine going to bed for your nappy and then waking up and your mom's nowhere to be found. Your dad's nowhere to be found. Your Gigi and Papa are nowhere to be found. You can't even talk yet, and you are in a stranger's home. Imagine how that must have felt for my son. Fuck CPS. You know what I mean? Fuck them all the way to hell. So it's so infuriating just even thinking about it. Ugh. Because, and I'm a pretty smart girl, so I immediately started advocating for myself, you know? But there's a lot of people, you guys, who are not, okay? They don't understand. They don't know how to advocate for themselves, you know? And they get stuck in the system. And I see it happen every single day, people getting stuck in the system. And that could have happened to me, but like I said, I have been around a time or two, so I know a little bit about advocating for myself, and so that's what I did. I advocated for myself, you know? It's just so fucked up. Okay, Rocky, here I come. Rocky Doodle Dandy. Whew. I know, right? I feel the same way they do. Y'all want to see my baby? Say hi to everybody, baby. I love you. Okay. Oh, I appreciate you guys. So, I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me this morning. I know I was a little emotional, and I get wild over here during my live streams, but it's because what I'm saying I care about. I'm passionate about what I'm talking about, you know? I don't want people to have to go through the pain and the agony that I went through. I don't want you to lose your kids. I don't want you to struggle with addiction. I don't want you to die from a drug overdose, you know? And so I try to share, you know, my story to help other people that might be struggling. But I'm always going to be honest with you guys. I always keep it 100. That's like very important to me. Look how big he's gotten. Like, look how big his body is now, y'all. So when I brought him home, he fitted it in my palm of my hand. That's how little he was. He was like this big. Now he's almost 10 weeks old, so he's being a big boy. 2 months, 2.5 months old. My little snickle frit. And he is just the smartest. I think your name is Morgan. All you can do is be there to support him and let him know when he's ready that you are willing to help him. So what I would do if I were you is I would find different treatment centers that are able to take him and find out if he has insurance, and help him in that aspect. If he's addicted to, opioids and he doesn't want to go to treatment, get him the options available, get him the MAT options available, get him the therapy, and put it out there in front of him. Put it out there in front of him. Show him, hey Ash, what's up, girl? Show him, hey, these options I found for you, and there you can get help here if you're ready. That way it takes the guesswork out of it, and he doesn't have to, he doesn't have any excuse. He can't say, oh, well, I can't go because of XYZ, because I can't find a place or whatever. You're going to have it already. You know what I mean? So that's what I suggest. But anyways, I love you guys. I got to get off here and I got to post for my clients and stuff, but me and Rocky love you guys. We hope you enjoyed today's live stream, and I'll probably go live in a couple of hours and do my makeup around noon. So if you guys want to come back and hang out, then we'll do makeup and we'll rant some more. Okay? Okay, if you need to DM me, that's fine. Go ahead and DM me. I'll get back with you as soon as possible. All right, you guys. Be good, everybody. Love y'all. Have a great morning.